Is your dryer not drying? Or maybe it's not heating up at all? Well, I'm Dustin with Parts Doctor, and today I'm going to show you step-by-step instructions on how easy it is to test and replace the heating element on this Whirlpool dryer. But this also applies to some other great manufactured brands such as Kenmore, Maytag, Amana, and more. It's easy. I'll show you step-by-step, so let's jump in. If you need to purchase a heating element for your Whirlpool dryer, you can check out our website, partsdoctor.com, where we offer fast shipping and only sell manufacturer-approved, genuine replacement parts for all major appliance brands. Your dryer works by circulating air and heat during the drying cycle. The heating element is responsible for generating that heat when electrical current runs through the coils and heats up, similar to how an incandescent light bulb creates light. These coils become very hot, and air pulled over these coils travels through the heater box and into the dryer's rotating drum. Poor airflow across these coils can cause it to overheat, warp, crack, or break and eventually fail. Tools needed for this repair: 1/4-inch nut driver, flat blade screwdriver, needle nose pliers, and a multimeter if you plan on testing your current heating element. Before working on any appliance, please remember to disconnect it from the power. And do not forget to disconnect the exhaust vent hose on the rear of the machine before moving your dryer. To access the heating element, first take off the terminal cover by removing the 1/4-inch hex head screw at the top of the terminal cover. Once the terminal cover is removed, you can remove all the 1/4-inch screws holding the back panel to the machine. Set the back panel aside. With the back panel removed, you can see the metal chute called the heater box located on the right side of the rear of the dryer. The heating element makes up the bottom of the heater box. Before we disconnect the wires connected to the heating element, snap a photo of the connectors for reference later in the reassembly. Remove the 3 connectors attached to the high limit thermostat. These connectors should be firmly attached to the thermostat, so they may be difficult to remove. To prevent damaging the connectors, use your fingers to work them free. But if you need to, you can use a needle nose pliers and gently remove them. Once the 3 connectors are disconnected from the high limit thermostat, remove the 2 1/4-inch hex head screws from the side of the heating element housing. The heating element should now slide down and out of the heater box. Remove the high limit thermostat by using a flat blade screwdriver to carefully lift the female spade connector up and off the heating element male spade connector. Once the female end is removed, slide the high limit thermostat off the metal tab on the heating element. Set the thermostat aside, as you will need to reinstall it later. If your dryer is an older model, your thermostat might be attached with screws. Use the same process, being sure to note the wiring connector orientation. Turn the heating element so the coils are facing you. Visually inspect the heating coils by gently moving the coils back and forth, looking for breaks in the coil element. If the coils are broken, the heating element should be replaced. Another issue that you can look for is a damaged interior metal plate. When the interior plate gets too hot, it can warp or crack, and that can cause the coils to touch the housing, causing a short. If this is the case, the heating element should be replaced. There are coils that are harder to visually inspect, but you can test them for breaks or shorts using your multimeter. Set your multimeter to its continuity setting and hold a probe on each of the 2 male connectors on the side of the heating element. You should hear a beep from your multimeter if the coils are in good working order. Touch one lead of the multimeter to one of the spade connectors while also touching the heating element housing with the other lead. If there is continuity or a beep, this means that there is a short in your heating element and it should be replaced. Repeat this test on the other spade connector. If your multimeter does not have a continuity testing option, set it to the lowest ohm setting and test the 2 connections on the heating element. You should see between 9 and 12 ohms on your multimeter. If you get a reading outside of those numbers, your heating element should probably be replaced. If your heating element has continuity and passes the visual inspection, the reason your dryer is not heating is probably for another failed component, such as a thermal fuse, cycling thermostat, high limit thermostat, or a thermal cutoff fuse. I will link videos for testing and replacing those components in the description below. If you need to purchase a new heating element, make sure you get a manufacturer certified replacement part like the ones we sell on our website, partsdoctor.com. We'll leave a link in the description below. You want to search with the model number from the tag on your dryer to be sure you're getting the correct part. To install your new heating element, first reinstall the high limit thermostat by facing the connectors out and sliding the hole on the thermostat onto the metal tab on the heating element housing. Slide the female connector of the thermostat onto the male connector closest to the front of the housing with the exposed coils. Be sure the thermostat connector is both very snug and pushed all the way on the male connector of the heating element. If the connection is loose, carefully close the gap on the female connector so it fits more firmly. A loose connector can cause overheating and corrosion, which will eventually lead to component failure. With the high limit thermostat now reinstalled, rotate the heating element so that the connectors are to the bottom left where the wires will reconnect. Slide the heating element housing into the heater box and start the 1/4" screw on one side. Align the screw hole on the other side and firmly tighten both of the screws on either side of the housing. Now reconnect the 3 wired connections. Reference the photo you took earlier if you need to. On this model, the red wire with the white connector attaches to the top of the high limit thermostat, while the orange wire with the L-shaped connector connects to the bottom of the high limit thermostat. The remaining red wire with the bare female spade connector attaches to the male connector without a connection on the heating element. If this wire does not connect securely, the wire can heat up and eventually fail. If this wire is discolored or shows signs of becoming hot in the past, it should be replaced. I will link a video to how to do that below. Be sure all 3 connections are tight and fully connected. Reattach the back panel with the 1/4" hex head screws and reinstall the terminal cover with the fastener on the top of the panel. Reconnect the exhaust vent hose and plug in your dryer. And that's it. I hope this video helped you out. If the heating element wasn't your issue, check out one of these other videos here that are a common cause for a dryer to not heat up. I'm Dustin with Parts Doctor. Until next time, thanks for watching, and we'll see you later.